It's 23 years since a Leeds United side last emerged from this, the most famous tunnel in world football, to play in a major cup final. But all that will be forgotten on Sunday, when manager Howard Wilkinson and captain Gary McAllister lead Leeds United out for the Coca-Cola Cup final against Aston Villa. The League Cup holds a special place in Leeds' affections as the first trophy they ever won in 1968, thanks to Terry Cooper's volley against Arsenal. The dream that came true for Don Revie has recurred for Howard Wilkinson.
It's an ambition as a manager. If you've never been and never led a team out, I think it must be even for the most hardened achiever. I think it must still be a very, very proud moment, and for me it certainly will be.
Yeah, I think we'll win, but I'm sure Villa think they'll win, so it's one of them games where form goes out the window and, you know, anybody could win it.
We'll start building up to the game on Sunday, maybe Friday. We know what Villa can do, we know the players they've got, so we don't need to look at videos, we just need to start concentrating on that game maybe Friday, Saturday.
It was my dream, and now a dream come true, you know, so it's just, for me it's just something special for me, you know.
Wembley's a big occasion in any footballer's life, and to go to another final is very pleasing and very rewarding.
The skipper throughout the glory years was Billy Bremner, who gave a frank appraisal of that first final.
Absolutely diabolical game. I can remember it as though it was just yesterday. And you would think that would be one of the games I'd want to forget. It was against Arsenal, and there seemed to be vendettas going on right from the first kick of the ball, and it was a nothing game, and really no team really deserves to win it. But the reason we won it was because of only a spectacular goal. I can remember it distinctly. It was Coops. It was a free. It would have been a free kick nowadays, to be fair, Nick, because there was a ball knocked into the box. I remember Paul Medley jumping with the goalkeeper, and as he competed with the goalkeeper, he sort of clashed with him, and the ball broke out to Terry Cooper, and Terry, you know, struck a magnificent volley, left foot volley in the top corner. The execution was marvellous. If any goal was going to win it, that was worthy of winning a cup final, you know. The Arsenal players and Frank McClintock and Ian Ewan and all them were screaming at the referee. And as I say, if that had been the same situation, if someone had barged into Gary Sprake at that particular instant, we would have been all around the referee, because it really should have been a free kick. There was a couple of ugly incidents on that. I don't think anybody looking back on it really relishes looking at it again. But that shows you how competitive the game was in our day. We never really bothered about any football team we went out to play against. They seem to have vendettas against us, whether they disliked us intensely, because we were probably the team to beat of that era. And so consequently, wherever you're going to go, people are going to roll their sleeves up that wee bit more when they're playing you. But the second half, like you say, there was an incident with Gary, and I think he followed through as Gary came out with the ball, and it started a wee skirmish again. And but that was part and parcel of the game. It was always going to be a very difficult game. It was always, no matter if you're one up, you're still walking the tightrope, and you're dying for the referee to blow his whistle. And when he eventually did, I think it was a great relief for everybody concerned, because it was, besides we had won the second division championship, but it was really the first major honour that the club had won, and we were delighted that we were part of the history of the club at that particular time.
It was a great achievement for the club because it was the first major trophy that the club had won. So, from that point of view, it set everything going up for the future.
How do you rate the chances on Sunday?
I think they have a fair chance. Yeah, I think, you know, I don't think there's much between the sides. And I think it could be on the day which sides cope with the atmosphere best. And I think that our lads are capable of going to win the game, yeah.
And the name Gray could figure on the team sheet at Wembley again on Sunday. Eddie's nephew Andy, the teenage son of Frank, another lead star of the recent past, is in the squad.
No, everything's happened very quickly over the last couple of weeks. I've been involved in the squad over the past couple of months, but I haven't really been playing. I started a game for the first time about 2 weeks ago, and I've been involved as a sub, so...
It'll be quite a fairy story, won't it, if you follow in the footsteps of father and uncle?
Yeah, it'd be nice to be third time there, and hopefully win.
It looked like the old familiar story when the Coca-Cola campaign began at Elland Road against second division Notts County. A frustrating goalless draw hardly promised a March date at the Twin Towers. Indeed, it could have been worse. County came close to emulating Mansfield Town's single-goal win at Elland Road last season. And the fans let the manager know their feelings. Even now on the threshold of a cup final, he can still reflect on some scary moments along the way.
No, it's not been without its exciting moments this year, the cup. But as seems to be the case with cup runs, this is the sort of thing you have to go through. It seems that you know, the passage is never an easy one way or the other. And certainly for us, it's been a difficult time, not only just in game results in the cup, but the sort of problems it's posed in terms of fixtures and suspensions and injuries as well.
Yeah. People talk about moments when they think that they're going to go to Wembley. Has there been a moment along the way, apart from the final whistle against Birmingham, when you thought this might be the year for you?
I thought Gary Speed's winner at Notts County was significant, because I have to say that up to now in the cups, we've lost matches and we've taken the stick. The stick has been to a large degree undeserved, because we've been very, very unfortunate at times, very unfortunate. We've battered people and not come away with the right result. And at Notts County, we, for the first time ever, pulled something out of the fire in a cup tie. And I think psychologically that was important for me, and I think psychologically it was important for the players, that at last they were able to walk into the dressing room, and instead of the thought being, you know, here we go again, or same old story, it can be done. And I think that was an important moment, yeah.
That night at Meadow Lane, it was Leeds skipper Gary McAllister who contributed the first chapter to the captain's log with a typical strike. Notts County were handed the way back into the tie when the referee pointed to the penalty spot, and John Lukic was given no chance by Devon White's shot. Enter one of the youngsters who've made their mark along the Wembley way. Andy Cousins has just one goal to his name in a blossoming career. That was it. Still, Notts County wouldn't lie down, and they came back to level matters on the night a second time. Another goal from that man again, Devon White. It seemed as though Leeds might scrape through unconvincingly on the away goals rule, but Gary Speed had brighter ideas of confirming victory, and Leeds were on their way and feeling good.
I think we played Notts County here in the early rounds, and we drew 0-0 here and went down to Notts County. And really and truly, they gave us a hell of a game down there, and Speedo managed to score the winner with only a few minutes left, and we won 3-2. And we came in after the game, and funnily enough, David O'Leary said that's the sort of performance and that's the sort of game that you end up being at Wembley.
Speed has always found fortune in the League Cup, and he was their lucky talisman once again in a tough-looking tie at Derby County. That proved to be the match winner, and this was just the sort of result a team has to dig out if they're going to get to Wembley. You also need a bit of luck, and Leeds got what luck was going that night. I wondered whether Speed was aware of his goal-scoring record in the League Cup.
Not really, no. I'm just looking forward to the game. I've not really thought about scoring. I think I've been lucky enough that, you know, I've scored a lot of goals in the Coca-Cola Cup, and hopefully, you know, maybe get on Sunday.
A rather sterner test was anticipated next as the Premier League champions Blackburn Rovers came to town. And now Weatherall still up. In comes Dean! Great goal from Graham Dean! It's 3-3 for the big man. They love him at Elland Road. He was the player of the year. Flowers beaten helpless by that scything shot from Dino. Kelly was the one who picked it back up again, and when it was knocked out, Hendry dwelled a little and Dean punished him. Blackman sloppily give the ball back to Yeboah. He might try one of his specials. for so long, he doesn't bother with tap-ins. And when Blackburn gave the ball to Tony Yeboah, they committed suicide. Mike Newell to Yeboah, 1 touch, 2 touches, 3 touches, 4. Thank you very much. Nothing Flowers could do about this, and the Ghanaian has his 13th goal of the season, but only his 2nd in 11 games. No wonder his eyes lit up. Wham!
The foreign players that actually come into the country, most of them talk about Wembley finals, and that's what they most like to do. And Tony's no exception, and Tony's been phenomenal for us since he came here. The amount of goals he scored, and also the quality of the goals that he scored, have been second to none. And I'm in no doubt that he's really looking forward to it, and he said so himself. So hopefully, you never know, he might be able to notch one for us.
To play Wembley is not something easy, you know, because before you're going to play Wembley, you have to work very hard, and we did, you know. So I think it's very good for Leeds United for Leeds fans, you know, my first whole season and qualify for the Wembley. So I think it's a very good season for me.
Anyone who can put the ball in the net frequently and regularly is of enormous value. It doesn't matter how good your team is, you need to score. There is a whole world of difference between playing well and not scoring, and scoring and what happens after that. And he can do that, and not only can he do it with the easy ones, but he tends to produce what you'd call the unexpected ones probably more than the easy ones. So that's important, particularly going into one-off games.
Yet again, the draw for the quarterfinals favoured Wilkinson's men, but they had to overcome an early setback against Ensley League opposition in Reading. Nogan. Turn here and get a good cross in towards Gooding, whose header may have looked to have gone the wrong way, but Jimmy Quinn scores for Reading, and the two joint player managers combine to stun Leeds United. Reading arms raised in salute. He's been blasting goals like that throughout his career. It's a beauty.
We see the cross coming there. Mickey Gooding gets a good little touch on there, which meant the Leeds had to come in, but Jimmy Quinn takes a one-touch to control. It's hit the ball early. Nogan crosses, as you can see again. Gooding gets between Weatherall and Kelly, a little touch out, and that shows a striker's instinct. He gets a slight deflection, but he hits the ball early, and that's the sort of strike you expect from Jimmy Quinn.
And there's got to be enough loft on this. Masinga's in. It's 1-1. Nixon had no hope. Phil Masinga celebrates before flying off to South Africa tomorrow.
We see McAllister put a good delivery in with his right foot curling on the goal, and the Reading players haven't really marked up sufficiently well or reacted, and Masinga's got a good little touch to put that away in the corner. But an excellent ball in by McAllister and a good finish by Masinga. Nice touch.
Closing moments of this first half at Elland Road, and all square at 1-1, and all square in terms of the contest, but here's Speed, and it's 2-1 for Leeds. And Gary Speed becomes the second highest goal scorer in Leeds United's history in this competition. It's his 11th, only Peter Lorimer has scored more.
Gary Kelly winds in a good cross here. Gary Speed's more or less the only one in the danger area, and he puts a good header there. Nixon comes out climbing, and Speed shows good bravery here to score. Masinga's coming in at the back, and I was thinking just before that Masinga needed to get in the box as well.
The suggestion all along has been that Leeds have had it easy, but it's hardly their fault.
Cup competitions are strange, and for much of a part, people really don't remember how you got there. They'll remember the teams that you played, but they don't remember the performances. And ultimately, you get to Wembley, and that's it. Everybody says, well, great, we're at Wembley now, and that's it. But there's a lot of hard work gone into actually getting there. And whilst people might say the opposition that we've had has probably, on the face of it, been relatively easy to a certain extent, with no disrespect to anybody, it's not been as easy as people think, because they have been hard games.
The first leg of the semi-finals took Leeds to a ground which doesn't hold particularly happy memories, St Andrews, home of Birmingham City. Again, there was an early shock in store for the favourites, and an early chance for the league's tallest striker and its most extrovert manager to celebrate.
What great goals of the season. A great little touch on there from Claridge. And he takes it out of his feet, and he hits that as well as any striker in the country, in the world, could have hit it. You will not see a better strike than that all season.
Wallace got a nice little touch onto Yeboah. Danger here for Birmingham. 1-1. Yeboah does the business yet again for Leeds United.
I just wonder about Chris White here. Big Chris, I think, was trying to legislate for Yeboah to come back onto his left foot, you know, Alan. And it's a nice little flick, a natural scorer. I think Chris White is just backing up, trying to get him to come back onto his left foot. And it's just given him enough to, all right, albeit fortunate enough to go through White's legs. But I wonder whether he should have gone at him a little bit earlier and got closer to the ball.
Tony Yeboah's 16th goal of the season, coming in the 9th minute of the second half, and Leeds draw level. This is Wallace. Sets it up for Kelly. Difficult angle to make the cross, but he's got it in all the same, and Yeboah's downward header. Oh dear, what misfortune for Birmingham, and in particular White, who made the final contact. And Howard Wilkinson looks almost embarrassed, and perhaps even he feels some sympathy for Chris White. Against his old club, he's inadvertently given them a vital goal.
All credit here to Gary Kelly, a sprinter, digs it out. Tony Yeboah really just helps it into the zone. And Chris White, it just glances off his dome, if you like. I mean, that is a tragedy for Birmingham. Chris White in particular, but very much so for Birmingham.
The game at Birmingham, it was very close, as you said, in the game down there. And it just took a wee bit of, I don't know if it's striker's luck, but Tony Yeboah and guys like Lineker and Alan Smith, who I played with at Leicester, they always managed to score goals through defenders' legs and trundle things into the corners. And I think that was maybe the turning point.
The odds were now heavily stacked in Leeds' favour, but it wasn't until the second half of the second leg that they booked their passage to Wembley, with Yeboah and his influential captain again to the fore.
This is danger area for Yeboah, and it reaches McAllister. Great save, but turned in by Masinga. And Phil Masinga, who cost £250,000, cheap by today's standards, will certainly recoup that and more if this proves to be the goal that sends Leeds to the final. Kelly's free kick is a good one. Dean wins the header, and he's there again, and a chance for Yeboah! Two goals in 3 minutes, and Howard Wilkinson can start thinking about Wembley now. Terrific ball, McAllister. And the little flick has taken it straight onto the head of Dean, and he's taken Leeds United straight down Wembley way with that goal. It's all over now for Birmingham. Leeds United will play Aston Villa in a month's time at Wembley in the Coca-Cola Cup final.
And Villa have taken a similar sort of route. Their Wembley trail began against second division Peterborough, and it could hardly have had a more emphatic start.
5 men in the wall. That's a little nudge back towards Draper. It is. On the volley. What a fantastic goal. Aho being encouraged to come forward. Every chance now. York might be underneath this one. Sheffield drops the ball. Townsend inside to Johnson.
The aggregate success was by resounding 7-1, and another second division side, Stockport County, were next to be swept aside. The first goal teed up by Andy Townsend for centre-back Ugo Ekihog. It took a spanking goal from Townsend for Villa to overcome Queen's Park Rangers and make it into the last 8. Incredibly, Villa haven't lost a home tie in the League Cup since 1987, just ask Wolves.
Brilliant play, and a chance for Richards, and it's off the line again by Wright. And Goodman has hit the post. What more misfortune can fall Wolves?
York winning the header. Milosevic. York takes over again. And that's a lovely ball for Charles. And that must be in. Yes! Tommy Johnson celebrates. And against the run of play, Aston Villa are in the lead.
When Arsenal stormed into a 2-goal lead in the semi-final first leg at Highbury, Villa were in need of a hero, and they found one in the form of striker Dwight York.
Oh, there was a comedy of errors there, and a whole chapter of them too, and it's not over yet! And they scored! And it's Dwight York again! Well, Arsenal will be kicking themselves. Milosevic. Played inside for Johnson. Played on again for Milosevic. Dwight York's gone darting into the middle there. And it might come to him. It has indeed. And it's 2-2. And Dwight York has done it again.
Those goals from the Trinidadian transformed the tie and brought this tribute from his manager.
It's nice to see him playing the way he is, because he's playing to all his strengths. What we as a staff do is really remind him of his weaknesses, and providing we can keep that right between us, then I think we have a player of immense potential, who is a match winner in his own right.
I've known Dwight since we've been 18, 19, and I'm closer to him than perhaps anyone else over here. He's by nature a very sensitive lad, but all he needs is somebody to put their arm around him to tell him how good he actually is, because he's very good, and he can produce outstanding results for you, as he's shown this season.
Leeds' answer to York is Tony Yeboah. His goals guarantee him a place in Leeds United's Hall of Fame, and he demands the utmost respect from friend and foe alike.
Tony's had a fantastic season. You could still say, a lot of people say it's been a little bit up and down because of the standards he originally set. But when you take in consideration, you know, he's come to a foreign country, he's been playing in Germany most of his life, and what he's achieved since he's been here, he's had a fantastic season. And also, you have to say Howard Wilkinson, what a great buy. I mean, at the time he bought him for £3.5 million. Not many people in the country, I would suggest perhaps only 30% of the country would know who he was or where he's come from. But under Howard Wilkinson, they've got an astute leader, and he's got a reputation as a master tactician, and I'm sure he'll have something in store for us.
Maybe what you have to be careful of is that you concentrate so much on the game and on the match and on the way you're playing, on the result, that you miss the day. I was thinking at the start that it might be the other way around, that the game starts and it's half an hour before you're actually into it and thinking about it. The closer it gets, the more I think it'll probably be the other way around, that you might have to remind yourself that there's something going on that you might want to remember, and you have to consciously try and do that, step back a little bit from it. But we'll see.
Every player's dream, you know, even if you played hundreds and hundreds of international matches and played a lot of big league championship deciders and stuff, if you say you've not dreamt about playing at Wembley, I think you're telling fibs.
I'll be delighted if Gary Mack, because Gary Mack's a smashing player, Gary McAllister, and it'll be a great honour for him taking the team out too. So I would settle for the lads doing exactly what they did, get the same result as we got, a 1-0 win against Aston Villa, and take the trophy back to which will be tremendous celebrations in Leeds.
We're going to enjoy the day, yeah, of course, but there's a big prize at the end of it. You know, qualifying for Europe, I think, is a must for a club this size, financially. So, although we're going to try and enjoy it, we want to win badly.
Billy Bremner in 1968 in the Football League Cup final and in 1972 in the FA Cup final is the only Leeds United captain ever to have made this walk and to receive a trophy here at Wembley Stadium. I wonder if Gary McAllister will follow in his footsteps on Sunday.